prepared.
I didn't think so.
All right, shooting from the hip. This is the podcast. All right, we're good to go. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome.
Fire away.
Like and subscribe.
What was the name?
Smash that like button.
To be
Name in progress or NIP
Name in
or
progress,
NIP.
yes.
Just
To be
the NIP.
determined.
Welcome to
TBD.
the nip. Nothing but the nip.
Yes. Well, all nip.
Oh.
No slip.
Yeah,
The
so
nip
I was
slip.
just-
That's a good one.
yes.
That's what was her name again? Oh my god. That Super Bowl.
Name in progress slip. I guess that doesn't fail.
All right. We'll come up with something.
But anyway, Maz, I know you're busy and you charge by the hour, so I'll get straight to the point.
Lot of the government's choices at this point is a giant money operation that we have no ties to. And even our voting has very little ties to it. And the people that have been in power for what, like fucking 50 years now? 60
term
years?
limits.
Yeah.
The fact that there aren't term limits, so is in Congress or the House of Reps or whatever that is insane. Like maybe 2 terms max. Like is that like how the president is?
I'm
Why can't
fine
you-
with you being in for even 20 years. That does make sense because
Well,
you can
here's
get
the thing:
something
is
done that way.
I don't mind you being in for that period of time because you want the person to have skin in the game. You want them to be like, okay, this is a big chunk of my life.
Yes,
I
but
only
when
have
that
this
skin
long
in
to
the
make
game is just the fucking stock market.
Yeah, I just
What are we
get
doing
money.
here?
I just get free money. I might as well just do whatever that guy says. He's giving me more free money.
Yeah, the shareholder investor like whole idea is not a very socially responsible thing. You know what I mean? It's for the people at the top, probably the top 10, 20 plus, maybe 30 plus %, who knows. Whoever has the stocks, especially the more of those stocks, whether it be Nvidia or GD or whatever, it's whoever has more of those, they have more skin in the game, right? But it's like we are a capitalist society, so I do understand money runs this.
Right, I don't want to take money out of
right?
politics, but I do want to fucking understand what is leading to the most amount of corruption because I think it's happening.
You know, what if we took, say 75% of any money you make outside of what you're paid in Congress, anything that you make outside of that in investing because of your fucking inside information
Goes to your state.
Goes directly back to the state that you represent.
Do you think that's a strategy that could work?
I fucking like that.
Yeah, or the people, right?
Why not?
directly.
Why wouldn't that make sense?
Well,
you still
here's the
have
thing.
a drive to make more money.
There's still so much corruption in the states too that is
Absolutely.
like I'm
But
putting
again,
all of this
the
money.
The smaller you get that system, the closer to home you get that system.
I agree with that.
The more control, the more logic is there. One of the biggest problems we have is that America's huge.
Yeah.
The United States is a massive, massive place.
God bless
And-
America.
Absolutely. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anywhere else. But we are trying to run something that is essentially a quarter of the planet. Like, yeah, we would need Canada and Mexico to really make that true, but like
the GDP and military and influence, then
like we
you
are
got
at
something
least
there.
a quarter of the planet in terms of economically and everything that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And we are running it with, 500 people? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Representative government made sense when you had to travel via horse to deliver a message. That made sense. Because how are you going to get the people here to have the conversation there? Now, when we can instantly connect and talk, we're literally talking completely across the country right now. Why can't we all represent ourselves a little more? Why can't we all be a little more involved? Now, granted, you can't have 350 million people sit in a room at the Senate or on a Zoom call.
Go. Yeah, but you could have, we have the guidelines.
But you can shrink it.
Yeah.
You can shrink it. You can shrink government. Again, I'm not saying divide the states. I'm saying have the states actually run themselves properly.
Yeah, properly is a
That's
is a
really
well,
that's
it's not a
big
divisive
term.
term, but in this
Trust me.
thing, it's how how we would all run it, and honestly, we probably have more similarities than differences. But there are other people who would think it, that's the whole political thing, right? Versus left, versus this way or that way, and it's like, what is the best way to do it? Less taxes, more taxes. I just think that anytime you're
Less
trying to
taxes. Let me
force
help you with
people to
that.
do
Less
something,
less
like
taxes is definitely how you do that.
I will lower taxes, go crazy, and build a gigantic ark.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that at least we're having a conversation about making a difference. There are a lot of people out there, and a lot of them are the ones without all the money, that are just so disconnected. I actually talked about this in LA for a little bit with my friends there, my buddy's birthday, and it's once you get to that level, and I talked about this last night too, once you get to the level of $100 million, $100 billion, whatever, somewhere in between those or more, if you're not doing something worthwhile with your money to help, whether it be setting up your own personal charity to make sure that money goes to where the charity actually says it goes, rather than other people's pockets to extort them, or whatever, you're making money off that kind of stuff, which people will do that. If you're not doing something good that's socially responsible for the community or for your family and friends and blah blah blah, if you're not doing that, I think that I would feel personally like a piece of shit human being for not trickling down what I could. And I wouldn't even trickle down, dude. I'd give it at least a little bit of a stream. Absolutely.
Philosophically, if you're not doing that, then even if it's the smallest amount, you're adding some poison to the environment. Like, the difference could be, I'm going to make a business, it's going to make a ton of profit. That's fine if the business that's making a ton of profit is giving everybody a living wage and paying.
Right. Let's say Costco or
to be able
whatever.
to live.
Shout out Costco or whatever other.
If you're doing
company
it
brand,
right.
Shout out Buc-ee's.
But there's also, even with Costco and bringing up that sort of thing, you're killing a bunch of small businesses. So if you were going that massive, even with Costco, and another shout out to Costco, if you could help fund small businesses, that would be another way that you could help all the small mom and pop grocery stores that might be in areas around you that you might be murdering ruthlessly.
Dude, there's still
deal.
mom and pop places left after COVID,
Yeah,
after the
of
whole
course.
draconian takeover.
Yeah,
There's still places like that exist.
They tried, but I'm still fighting.
One or two. There's one or
Not,
two.
yeah, it just sometimes. I mean, I know that was a big emergency, but like how the government handles things sometimes. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. So this is just a conversation we're having. We're not trying to make you guys so upset that you want to fucking send us that.
And I shop at
if
Costco.
you do it in the comments.
I like Costco.
Yeah, definitely do it.
But like,
I have no problem with Costco.
But like,
we just love small businesses and American entrepreneurship,
right?
And we want to see people thrive in all those situations. Big business helping people get paid living wages, and small mom and pop shops not getting the shit kicked out of them by these giant corporations. Maybe lower taxes for them if the government's listening, for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listening. I mean. The government, I mean, let's take it from the left perspective. A lot of people that are left-leaning live around this area, live around... I'm just saying, there are a lot of left-leaning people, right? And I can see it from their perspective. Let's increase the taxes so therefore we can take care of more people, fix the roads, whatever. But it doesn't seem like that's what's happening. I used to think like that a lot.
Never happened in the past.
For some reason, giving more money is not fixing the roads. It's not helping the impoverished. It's not helping those people. And for some reason, the more money we give, the more money you want, or the more money the government wants, and one small and large, especially.
And then all of a sudden, I have less money in my pocket,
and then more money is disappearing every day.
Exactly. Why I can help better than they can. You know what I mean? So it's like and that's a big point too, is your individual life, whatever, how much money you have, whatever your energy is putting towards, we can all do more in our own personal lives. That's
and I agree help better by shopping more locally instead of going out to big businesses and spending money.
Absolutely. Even if you have to spend $1 more, if you have the ability to do said thing, then that's great. But it's just like, there are I think that the people that have more influence, especially, or more money particularly, because that's a really solid, powerful tool, is you have more responsibility to do said things. And if you don't feel like you have a responsibility to do more with that much money, whether it be 100 million or 100 billion or beyond or whatever, that's not a good thing. It's not a good human trait to have, to not feel more. What is that? Is it the Spider-Man thing, or somebody said it before that? More power comes more responsibility.
Yeah.
In this age, with more money should come more responsibility, and that's. I'm
And
not trying to be all socialist here. I'm just saying that you should feel like that. You know.
And also, I'm not for socialism. I'm okay with socialist programs. Some socialist programs to help out people in need here and there. I'm okay with that. I don't want fucking socialism running the country for sure.
No.
The more power that you have, whether it be in the government or however many millions or billions that you have, or trillions, or all that is all like okay.
Nobody has trillions yet.
If you're a police officer,
at least not that we
That
know
we
about.
know of. Yeah,
whatever,
there we
That
go.
we know about.
Yeah.
If you're somebody that is a superintendent of a school, if you're the chief of police or you're whatever, all those people, by and large, know that they have great power, and that does come with great responsibility. So if you make, if you're near perfect, that isn't amazing. But then because every human is fallible. But if the mistakes that you do make, whether it be putting in somebody in jail wrongfully, or if you don't do something right to try to save somebody's life or whatever, there's all sorts of mistakes that can be made. Humans do make mistakes. Humans are all fallible. Every single one of us is fallible.
Yep.
So the fact that it's just odd to me that
There's so much money.
mistakes will be made. In today's world, the fact that there are so many people that are going hungry, not just in the United States, but all over the world, if we can't even fix our own shit and we're giving money, I think using lobbyists to get people into power.
This segues into sort of my point is I believe that it's anonymity that's causing the larger amounts of corruption that we're dealing with.
Anonymity Jenkins. I remember her.
I studied this back in the day. Anonymity Jenkins fucked over everybody at every single point that they had a chance. No, but anonymity when you get to large groups of people, in smaller groups of people, like let's say when the U.S. first started, it's a little easier to communicate points back and forth. Once you get into giant cities, the anonymity of nobody knowing you and there not being as much consequences of you doing something, you treating a person like a piece of shit because you'll never see him again. You just saw him in a bank line that one time, and you call him a piece of shit.
It's just the internet,
and then you walk off.
It happened before the internet.
But now with the internet in its position, people are able to have personas and have likeness of themselves, and they could be billionaires and be acting like somebody else and be getting money or acting like there's someone in need and those sort of fraud scam sort of situations. And so this anonymity of the internet and the globalization, the anonymity of countries at this point not being held accountable for decisions that they're making. There's great big shadowy deals going on in the background and nobody's being held accountable because they're anonymous. Nobody knows.
They can get away with it.
Yeah.
It's a smaller percentage of people. Let's say, again, I love the analogy of arc creators. When there are people that will say that they're going to help you and then betray you. And I think those shadowy deals,
only run into
they're just
two
trying
of
to
those.
get theirs.
It's
not, it's a smaller percentage of people, but there are people that it's even if those people aren't evil to their core, it is an evil act to make those shadowy deals. To go, whether you're in government or arc raiders or whatever.
Right, and you're also leading by example, so other people are learning from what you're doing, and specifically people who are being fucked over are deciding, oh, the world's like that, maybe I need to start dealing like that. And that's where it's starting to make more people act in those ways.
Yep.
Right. And to back what I was saying earlier, that a lot of those ideas go along with people getting hurt or fucked over in their past. Therefore, I'm never going to let that happen again. And a deeply psychological thing. I'm never going to let this group of people, whoever did it to me, whether it be a color of skin or some kind of personality trait or what somebody looks like or somebody's whatever it is, I'm never gonna let these men or these women or these whatever even close to me again, and I'm gonna have prejudice against them because, or even if it's people with less money or more money. I mean, that's a true thing too. It's just any kind of class difference or skin difference, whatever. People will find those things, tribal thinking, and point it out. It's just so much more. You have so much more responsibility when you have that much money or you have that much power to not be like that, right? And I think that those people should be. Yeah.
The thing is, though, it literally comes back to reacting that way is exactly the wrong way to live. It doesn't help anybody. It hurts you and it hurts the people that you're hurting. Turn the other cheek is a thing for a reason.
Right. That's that's the saying that goes: "Is it hurt people hurt people?" So people that have been hurt other people. What I think is healed people can heal people,
Absolutely.
and they don't have to. But if you have healed yourself, that's a very similar idea. What you were just saying. If you live your life that I'm gonna fucking get whoever that is, and like it's hurting yourself probably more than anybody else, even if you hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
But
Whereas if you react to that situation like, "Oh, he did that to me because he needed that." Okay,
exactly.
I'm going to keep going. I'm going to help the next guy I see. Maybe if I interacted with that person in a different way, I could have just helped them. And that's what most people who get fucked over say is, if you just asked me, I would have given it to you.
Right,
and that's the thing. Everybody needs to learn it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. You don't need to steal, lie, cheat, hit, hurt. Like that stuff is actually evil. And like I'm no saint, but like I do my best to bring light in every situation I'm in. I like talking about darkness and observing it, but I want to bring light and brightness at the end of an interaction.
Communication is absolutely key.
Grow and get better.
Communication, yeah, absolutely. Grow and get better. And I think one way you can do that is communication, is sharing your feelings about said topic. And I know that young men, especially struggle with this, of all races and creeds, because I think in the past, men in general, whether it be young men or especially older men at this point, have been taught to keep your feelings inside. You're the provider, you're the tough one, you're the thing. And we're really trying, I think we're really trying here as a society, or maybe even the world, like, is trying to get away from that, because we're talking about equality among sexes and among races and all this stuff. If we're really doing that, if we're really doing DEI, then we have to actually address the problems.
I'd say we're trying to open up a little bit more, but the truth of the matter is when you show weakness, you are showing weakness. And for
vulnerability is a different thing.
Someone who is out to get you, it is still dangerous to be showing that vulnerability.
Be vulnerable.
Well, no. Yeah. I don't think it is. Okay. Being vulnerable can be a good thing. You can show weakness and actually be stronger for it.
Absolutely.
It's in how you do it. And again, as somebody who is raised fairly stoic, like I'm emotional and I'm loud and I'm expressive, but when it comes to like real life situations, I am fairly stoic and calm and reserved. I mean, my dog just died a few weeks ago, and I was sad about it, but I didn't weep. I didn't break down. I didn't have this awful, like, it was a bad day. I didn't love it, but I dealt with it because it happens. You cannot avoid death. And so starting from the one thing that everyone will go through, death, I went, okay, how do I apply my ability to go, well, it is what it is, and it's okay, it's sad, but why let it ruin me? Why let it break me? Why fall apart because of it?
Your dog would want you to be happy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Let me take it and love the time that I had and keep going. But apply that same logic to literally every bad situation in my life.
Right.
And I truly believe anyone and everyone can do that because there's literally a silver lining in every bad situation. As awful as the thing gets, there is something good either to be learned or taken from it, no matter how bad it is.
That's why I was mainly bringing up the whole the showing your weakness or vulnerabilities. Yes, I believe more people are opening up about it, but there are the lessons of being fucked over and not reacting and hurting someone else over it, but definitely recognizing and making sure that you're not as vulnerable to that type of attack.
For sure. No, protecting yourself is not bad.
Right.
No.
Right.
Well, but you also shouldn't completely put a wall up.
No. And
like there's a balance. Again, it's everything in moderation.
You can do both. You can do both. It's just I've never been. I have been especially not great at this in my past. I think I'm getting quite a bit better in the last few years or so. Is discerning who the people are that are going to. I was vulnerable or open with more people than I probably should have been. Right. And I was hopeful in a way that is almost ignorant / naive. I will absolutely say that. And
I can agree with naive.
Right? To get fucked over by something and then to how you react to that. There's a time for grief, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a time to be sad, there's a time for everything. But at the same time, what you're saying is very it's not succinct, but there's a good word for it. I can't remember it. Like and subscribe, put it in the comments. I can't remember. But like that.
Look at this guy. Put it in the comments. Can't remember.
Everyone can do what you're saying. It's just how much. This is a problem with modern society. I think is that victim mentality. I'm just not saying victims themselves. I'm saying victim mentality is promoted when what we're saying, what you have been saying, is almost the opposite of that. So, oh my God, my dog died. I could cry about this today or tomorrow and be sad.
And get the next 3 days off paid, and
there you go.
And everyone will feel bad for me and tell me how much they love me.
10 years ago,
that's not
that. Right.
Who does that help? That doesn't even help you. It actually hurts you.
Exactly, and I understand there's deep feeling people, much deeper than I can feel, even I think out there in their minds and their emotions, but it still doesn't help them to live in that spot, to live in that place, right? Yeah. To live in the, to brood or to just be dejected and sad and miserable all the time. And misery does love company. People will pull you down if you're in that hurt area.
Also, nobody's perfect. Like I'm very good at that, at that. Not even turning it off, but just taking my emotion, understanding it, and trying to use it for a better purpose. I got taught that from a young age of like, don't lose your temper, use your temper. And then I applied that again to sadness, grief, and all the other emotions that I had, and went, well, let me push this energy into a good place.
Yeah, because just like with good energy has a loop, the vengeance and the victim loop, if you continually regurgitate those same things, then it'll keep you in a null.
I truly believe it's why, like, I talk about how lucky I am, and it's not even really luck. I mean, luck is just preparedness meets opportunity and timing. Like, that's all luck is. But I have lived my life very open to the world, very like, I'll just take it as it comes. I'm not really searching for any one thing. I'm just seeing the opportunities and doing things, and it's working pretty well. But I think why the good things have happened in my life is because I'm also I see opportunities to do evil acts, to do things that would hurt people, that would cause suffering, and I don't do those. I see opportunities to help people and improve other people's lives and improve my own, and I do those things.
And I would say I've learned the lessons of seeing opportunities that I thought would help people and watching it be something where I get abused on
for sure.
Specifically situations of
you can definitely get used. I've been used
giving people money or giving people that victim loop. If there was a certain person that loved to just tell me problems that were going on, and I thought I was helping by being there and listening to the problems, and then I mean, it's almost a decade away from that time, and I don't feel like I've done anything good for the person, and I have had since then had to step back and be at arm's length.
Well, not necessarily cut ties, but I understand.
Yeah, there is a time where there's a rock bottom, whether it be drug addiction or such evil behaviors of stealing and just doing things
it's
that
not even
are
rock
clearly
bottom.
evil.
It's just the same. It's just the loop has never ended. It's nothing too terrible. It's just the victim mentality.
Yeah. I went through that with one of our close friends, and thankfully, it's one of the only times I did commit beyond everybody else that I saw, where I allowed myself to be. I knew it was happening, and I allowed myself to be used because I truly believed that doing it and allowing my suffering to continue for a while was going to help them. And it actually did in the end. What we went through was shit. And like, it sucked. But it was also a learning experience for both of us.
Yeah, I would say it's a huge win for me. I will not run into those situations ever again with the same mind. I won't be so naive, and I mean, I'll still be loving, but I won't be naive.
I learned that you can help somebody who's in a shit situation, but they have to be willing to be helped.
Yeah. It's the similar psychology thing, not just with physicality or certain substance or whatever, but it's with they have to want to do it themselves. And I do think he is one of those people that in the end will want to do that, but some lessons had to be learned along the way, as do all of our lessons along with all
learning lessons.
We all
is still learning. It's part of the human experience, and literally
learning and growing and getting better, and not being defeated by the loop or the taxes or the government
when you stop being willing to learn.
Down.
The willingness is the most important thing, because not everybody learns at the same rate, and it's been really difficult, but I accept that. But the willingness to learn is what's important.
Yeah, and that's what's
I see
amazing.
it so often. People shut off. They just go, "Oh no, I don't know how to do that." I'm like, "Okay, well, it's this," and they go, "Nope, I don't. Nope,
absolutely not." Yeah.
Well, you could try.
I think on the victim loop specifically, if you get it ingrained enough, the victim loop, that you can be like, I'll never be able to do that, and it'll stop you from even taking the first step. You won't attempt to do the first step because you'll be like, I see 40 steps ahead in the future, I'll never be able to do that, so I'm not even going to try.
Teachers, educators of any professors, they all have a great responsibility in their own right, even though most of them don't make tons of money, to especially parents, because you're spending most of your life with your parents, at least until you're 18 plus, whatever. And you have to instill education, or in my opinion, you have to instill education as the epitome, is the scientific method. To continue to learn things into the future is going to progress society mostly in the right direction, right? To be willing to learn about one thing or another instead of closing yourself off. What's the Marcus Aurelius quote? It's better. It's
epitome.
Right. But it's the mark of an right. But the okay. But the mark of an educated mind is, I mean, either one of those works. But the mark of an educated mind is to be able to entertain a perception without believing it. Is one of the interpretations of his quote in Meditations, and that is really just to say a good quote, because if you are able to look at something and go, oh, August was trying to teach me this, but I was just cut off for it. Oh, I can actually entertain what he's saying, and maybe I'll even give it a try sometime. And instead of just shutting it off, how you were saying, that is the beginning of wisdom, or the beginning of knowledge, or whatever, because you're willing to actually entertain that. You're willing to give it a try, give it a shot, educate yourself upon the thing, and whether you actually take the action, whether it's right for you or not, is a personal thing. But at least you're willing to do that. And there's thousands, hundreds of millions of perceptions out there of all different things. And it's like, why, if you're just going to shut yourself off to those things because you had a bad experience one time, or because this person you don't respect said it or whatever, I think that's silly, right? There's little tidbits of knowledge from any person, from a child, from a Down syndrome person, from a homeless, from a this or that or whatever, from a great person that's a president, or from an educator, whatever. You can take there's little bits of knowledge and perception, maybe great bits from all these people, from writers or whatever, of all backgrounds, and to not entertain something because they are this or that, whatever label, insert said label there, is silly. And we all have our own prejudices to some degree. When people say that they don't, I don't see color, or I don't see this, it's like, hey, we all live in reality. So it's like
we've all had interactions. We've all had interactions, or had family members, or had situations that would make us feel a biased thing towards either an idea or a group of people. Sometimes it's just an idea. Sometimes it's like when people talk about government, for instance. I know we've had our jokes and things like that. I do appreciate a part of the government that has held a protection for the freedoms that we've been able to enjoy throughout our lives. There is a very serious part of the conversation that a lot of people just shit on the government, and I get that there's so many corrupt backdoors and politicians and money.
And
there's some fucking creepiness out there. Super creepy stuff that I don't even want to begin to know, but I'd like it to come to the surface so we can get that shit done with and move forward.
I want to know all of it.
Yeah.
What's scary though is then you take a look at what's happening in England or some other governments right now. Obviously, it might.
We're all the politicians on one side like all die, and then you can only vote for this one.
Right, if they're watching what you say on social media and you say they interpret it as a hate message, even though it's not even, it's talking about your political opinion or whatever, because they don't technically have the First Amendment or whatever, right? Or the Second Amendment, whatever it is.
Second Amendment,
right? But like, well, there's the free speech.
That was a joke. It's all the First Amendment. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms.
Exactly, both. They don't have either, and that's what
the right to bear arms is the only reason. So again, the reason we have our freedoms is because our country is set up in a very specific way so that the people can defend our freedoms. It's not the government that defends our freedoms.
I mean,
defend our freedoms.
It's true. So from global enemies and those sort of things, it's been our government has been
Yes, for
protecting us
sure.
because it's away from here. But when anybody thinks about attacking the U.S., they're like, "Fuck that! There's guns behind every blade of grass." Was one of the lines that
Literally
was said.
every. There's more guns than people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the
Mm-hmm.
people will defend the land when it comes to here, but the government is our protectors of foreign things, but things have become so corrupt, even that's a whole confusing subject of where's our money going and what's this actual protection doing for us in comparison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when rich people take the money of poor people or middle class people and then use it for their gains or for a corporation's gains, or if they're like, we're going to go help these people now with your money, even though you didn't really get a say in this. Doesn't matter if you vote right or left or whatever. We're going to use your hundreds of millions or billions or even trillions of dollars to go help these people, which I'm not against helping people at all.
But if
if you're
you're
taking
sitting still
money of
falling
people
apart,
that can't,
yeah, if you still have homeless, if
yeah,
you still have your infrastructure falling apart, then
yeah,
where the hell is the actual, like, you can't help somebody unless you're in a good position. That would
yeah.
be one of my main things that I would like to bring to the table is
Everyone's a whole, yeah.
you need to bring
Everyone's a
yourself up.
hopeful globalist. Everyone's a hopeful, let's take care of everyone in the world until someone takes their shit and beats them up or rapes them or that shit happens. And then they go, actually, I need to protect myself.
Well, yeah.
You know, it's
Also,
like we.
pull the what is that? That was a Bible quote. To pull the log out of your eye before you help your brother
Oh,
out with the
right.
speck in his
Right.
eye. That's
Right.
very similar to that
I,
line.
yeah. I mean, we have to, you can't give out of an empty cup, right? And obviously, the United States is not an empty cup by any means.
By
But at
any
the same time,
means.
it's like you're saying that you're taking the tax dollars of people who can't afford houses, you know, until
And
they're at least
families at this
40,
point
50, 60 years
yeah,
old.
at this point it's families and houses and like even general security. There's a lot of
Which
places
leads
where
us to
people don't
another
even feel
thing. I don't know
safe.
if this is a worldwide thing, but the attack on the family unit, I don't know if that's happening organically. I highly doubt it's simply organically, or if it's instituted some social reconstruction way. But the fact that it is attacking the family unit, most people want to have a family still to this day. Most people that are even in their 20s,
I mean,
30s, 40s, they want a
that could
house, they want a child, they want, or
it
more,
could
they want a
still
wife.
be a lot of propaganda. There's still, I mean,
There is.
there's obviously the money. The money doesn't seem like it's there. It doesn't make any sense with everything getting more expensive. It doesn't add up
It's
for people
easier
to
to
be like, hey,
control
let's
people.
relax and have a kid.
Yeah, it's
That
easier to
doesn't make any
control
sense.
people when you don't have the ability to do any of those things. When your abilities are cut off systematically and you don't have the power that you once had, whether it be spending power, power to, provide for a kid or have a wife or have a house or even buy a car that you need or the insurance that you need, whatever. When those things are cut off, it's much easier to control people. The more divisive, it's divide and conquer, so to speak, in a much more detailed propaganda way, because propaganda's been going on for throughout all of human history, right? It's just gotten better and better and better. If people are fooling themselves, if they think that stuff is not happening, even in the United States on a state level or a social level, that from the top down, I mean, it is happening. They're those people, whoever they may be, whether it be, it's not even just rich people or people in the government or the Illuminati, whatever you want to say, some crazy shit.
Well, yeah, I
Whatever's
mean,
going on
if you
is
peel
attacking the family
yeah,
unit.
if you peel that away, and then we have less kids, and then we have less people to defend the rights that we have. I mean, it could be propaganda from another country who does want to come in and try to physically take over, and the whole amount of guns and ammo thing doesn't mean anything if we don't have kids. If none of us have
Right.
kids, and that the
Yeah.
numbers go down, and then they infiltrate with a bunch of people from their country to here through asylum or through whatever, then our numbers are down enough to make us vulnerable. So there is an honest strategy that can be seen there. The problem is I don't know why Americans wouldn't recognize this going on, and where is all the money that
Because there's
would be
tons
making
of
us feel safe?
propaganda being pumped into the system to try to get people to. I mean, and I bet entire people have been raised this way. That are about 20 years old, maybe 25 at this point. That have been raised with just the same propaganda being pounded in their heads. And I'm not saying it's entirely left or entirely right, or even somewhere in the middle or whatever. There's
Or
propaganda
both.
from all sides.
Yeah.
Or both, but I'm just saying that it does exist, and if you don't look out for it, it will get you, and you'll wake up 10 years later, or 40 or 50, 60 years later, and go, oh my god, I lived my life this way without discerning for myself, trusting the right people, doing the right thing, so to speak, in the right moments, whether you have a lot of money or not, and I think that's the real thing, is discernment, who to trust, what what to do in any particular situation. And I think it's harder to, education can help discernment. Changing your perception can help discernment. Trying to see it from somebody's different perception, whether that be in any kind of way you can think of. It's People don't like to do that because it's scary, and I know that the unknown is scary to most people. It's unknown, but I think to have the courage, to have the ability, to have
That's
the
why
courage,
most people
the
don't
opportunity
change.
to have the courage.
Most people
Right.
do not make those big moments of change.
People
Go
people
out, hit
don't even.
the gym, go for a run, do some meditation, pick up an instrument. I know it seems
Mhm.
fucking stupid and small. Pick
Right.
up a pen, start writing some stuff. I've
Well,
had to force
that's the
myself
thing
into a
is
lot
the
of it.
smallest changes become the biggest changes, and I mean, as somebody who's done all of those things at different points in my life, and am now back to having tits, it's really interesting, like how difficult I still find it, even though like I've gone over the hump and I've done the thing. And then I fell back.
It's
and then I
still
did
just
it again. I
it's
play
still
an instrument. I'm good at video games. I was super fit. I got married 14 years ago. Like, I've done a ton of impressive things. I bought a house at 25. Like, I did a ton of impressive things. And now I'm 36 and I make the same money I did when I was 20.
except for
Granted,
now
I
with
work for the state and
inflation.
it's a super stable job. Oh yeah, now I
Yeah,
make
now
a
it's
quarter
inflation.
of what I used to
Right,
make.
right.
But like, I totally understand that push, that wall,
The
that
feeling.
doing the small step
It's so hard.
is.
It's so hard to do the small
It
stuff.
sucks. It always sucks. And I've done small steps. It's why I've lost weight. It's why doing this is a step that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
I wanted to start recording my thoughts and talking to people that I care about and love and have these discussions because
I love you too.
they're important. And while I'm not the most articulate person in the world, I also know that I have definitely had ideas that I've never heard before. And almost everyone in our kind of core main group of friends has also had ideas that I've never heard before. And
Unique.
I still don't hear in the world. And I'm like, are we special? Why are we thinking some of these things that I'm not hearing? So getting our voices out there is something that is genuinely important to me. And on that,
absolutely.
I'm not done. I am still listening. I will just be out of view for a second while I refill my drink.
All right.
Get it.
Me too.
And to his point, I think the little things that you can do actually matter. I'm talking to the people now. The little things that you can do. Oh, okay. The little things that you can do actually, I think, matter more when you are a disenfranchised or a what's it called, low income / poverty stricken. In all the different places of the world, I think the little things that you can do in your life, obviously big things matter a lot, but like the little changes that you can make, as we were saying, whether it be writing your thoughts down in a journal or coming up with new ideas, again, instrument, some kind of artistic expression in any way. I mean, those kinds of things, even if it seems trivial at the moment, so it is as important, if not more important, for the people that don't have as much, that were not given the opportunities that maybe they should have had in life. Though it helps change the psychology at the very least of those people to just it's a little victory every day, right? Work.
It's just a different time. I run a small computer store, and my direct competition is Amazon, Costco, Best Buy, and like the big dogs. Like there's no small business down the road that I'm fighting against to survive. I'm fighting against literal billion-dollar corporations. So, I mean, I feel blessed that I'm able to do what I do, and I help a lot of people, and I am a part of a small community, and there is this more beautiful existence for me than if I was just working in a back room of some giant warehouse and just doing the computer repairs day to day and never talked to anybody. There's a very different life for me, and there's a very different life for customers walking in the door than going to any of those places. But I feel slowly crushed by the type of competition I'm going up against. And as much as I feel blessed, I also need to do those day-to-day things of when I'm running a business like that. What is it that will keep me alive and on the cutting edge as a small business? I have to do one thing better than any giant multi-billion-dollar corporation can do, and that one
No,
thing
you're
that I
thinking
can-
about it backwards. You need a bigger sign.
No. One of the one of those things I can do is be me. Is one of those things
absolutely.
I can do is be
being genuine is so rare. Again, thing I appreciate about kind of what we're doing here is we are all actually just being ourselves. We're having the conversations the three of us would have if we were in person. We're kind of interrupting each other, but we're also letting each other speak. We're having a good, honest, what I see as fairly fruitful. I mean, we're not solving the world's problems, but we're at least talking about them.
You
exactly.
You got to bring them to the table before you can do anything about it. I don't think I don't think the answer is to solve. I think the answer is to bring them to
awareness
light.
Comes first.
Yes. In order to know there's a problem, you have to say there's a problem. If nobody's bringing it up and nobody's talking about it, no one will ever do anything about it.
Speaking of which, just on your small business point, because I mean, I know I thought of it at one point. I don't know why I never did. But I'm going to make my dad come in because he occasionally has computer problems. And
he's over here. All right. Yeah,
it'll be way easier for me to just go to Doug. Doug will fix it. Because literally, I'm tapped into my mom's computer from here. And, I fix it remotely all the time.
Yeah, no, it's the same
all
type
the
of
time.
stuff.
Not that often. But
I have a bunch of customers who left town and they still won't go anywhere else. They still call and they're like, "Hey, help me out remotely." And as long as you have internet, I can solve the problem.
Well, that's what people love for the small town, personal, individual businesses, small town business or whatever is especially in your case, Doug. I think you're agreeable. You're literally trying to help them, even if they're getting frustrated. You're getting frustrated with them.
Some people don't want to go,
even if it's over the phone.
Some people don't want to go to giant billion-dollar corporations and be another number in line. I'm one of them.
Most people don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Computer, but if you have a problem and you bring it in, they just want to sell you another computer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't sit down with you and do a one-on-one, and they're like,
the Geek Squad back in the freaking early 2000s was halfway decent. Nowadays. Nah.
People want you to know that they care. People want to feel like you care, regardless. I like it when people feel like they care about me in most situations.
Wouldn't that be fucking nice if you could go somewhere and they did actually care? That's the one thing that I do that the giant corporations
it's the
do
nice
not.
thing, and I haven't had a ton of experience, but it is the nice thing about going to a high-end restaurant or really any kind of upper echelon experience because they legitimately do care that you're there. They want you to
They're getting paid a living wage. They're getting paid enough to be there with their whole heart.
A server is making
I love you.
$35 an hour.
I love you.
Yes, and they're having a great time at work because they know it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you pay people garbage wage, you get garbage work.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care. It's the reason the DMV always has the most miserable people in it because they pay.
That's so rough.
Okay.
Ours here, Doug, shut down for what is it, a month or two?
I know about that, and I'm across the country.
Yeah. It's I don't think people understand that. In certain different places, obviously different costs of living. Let's say in Los Angeles, it's that area.
They might get paid all right. Yeah.
Yeah, in certain places, but you have to make that money to live there. You have to hustle. You have to do the thing. And if you don't, then you have to move somewhere else.
Yep.
But I also really don't agree on Ben Shapiro's thing. If you can't afford to live here, then move away. It's I got some thoughts that I'm not going to share on the podcast about that.
Yeah, I think the thoughts are, depending on where you are, you could have a system that's just trying to extract the wealth. And they could be making it so everybody gets paid shitty, and they're like, "Why don't you live in that shitty town over there, and you come over here and work?"
No, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
It's not.
And my argument to if you can't afford it, just move. Okay, fine. If I can't afford to live in Seattle, I'll move to Spokane. And if I can't afford to live in Spokane, I'll move to Boise. And if I can't afford to live in Boise, I'm going to move to Santa Fe. And if I can't afford to live in Santa Fe, well, I guess I'm going to go to freaking Dallas. And if I can't afford to live in Dallas, you literally just keep going down this chain And when you end up at the bottom, like you're in Mobile, Alabama, and like what? I don't know. I picked the
Hey,
You're right, but that's-
no diss to these people in Alabama.
If I
All
can't
right,
afford to live in
it's
Mobile,
probably a really nice
Alabama,
place.
what the fuck do I do? Like,
You live off.
I
Oh
can-
god,
yeah,
Watch it.
here's this. But if you vote for me, I'll
Uh-huh.
give you more of this as long as you
Uh-huh.
don't work. As long as you don't do that, I'm gonna give you this. As long as you vote for these people over here, we're gonna take that money, we're gonna put it over there. Man, we got a scheme going on now.
Yeah. No, I know. It's so again. None of this is aimed at anyone at all. But it is an issue that
Of interest.
we
It's
essentially
an issue of
sound
interest.
like right-wing nutbags having that conversation. But no. But then compare that to the last hour of conversation, and we essentially sound like fruity left-wing hippies. Combined with some of my
small community driven. I'm totally small community
For
driven.
sure.
I want the small communities to win.
But
I want small
tribalism like
businesses,
that
mom and
is
pop shops
great
to win.
and bad. It's because the more tribal you get, then you want to defend your tribe against anybody, whether they want to help you or hurt you.
Totally.
You become super isolated, and in a globe like we have, we literally have to be united entirely. Everyone has to love everyone else. It's the great thing about psychedelics is it gives you that window into, oh, I am no different than you or her or hit. Like,
Or
now
the
we are
chair.
all individual and different, yes. But literally, at
We
our
all
cellular
want a family.
bottom, we
We
are
all-
all just freaking
frequency.
This is absolutely why I'm cyber libertarian. Not because I'm super far right wing or because I'm crazy in the middle or super far left wing or whatever. It's because we should be able to celebrate our differences, and for some reason, on the far left and the far right, and the far whatever outskirts of the thing, it's like their way or no one's way.
Yep.
We're going to take away
If you
your
stand
rights.
out, we're going to hammer you down.
To this thing, to that thing. It's like it's my body, my choice, except when it comes to vaccines, except when it comes to this. And it's like, okay, I don't want to take away anyone's rights as long as you're not literally doing evil acts. And it's not that hard to figure out, right? It's like you should own your own body and be able to do whatever you want with it.
Yep.
But if
it's freedom of speech unless you make fun of the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. And you're like, wait, what? Like, for as much as I didn't agree with what Jimmy Kimmel said, he could say it. Who gives a fuck?
Right. Well, I think that's a more moral issue. It's like, obviously, there's tons of
It's
people
wrong,
who particularly about
you're
it is
still
wrong.
able to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can. And you shouldn't be arrested for it. And you shouldn't be, killed for it or whatever.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
It's just, but that's the point. Is so many people on the left
and watch out and get into politics. If you're getting into politics, try to protect our freedom of speech. For crying out loud,
I
think
truly
it'll be the
believe
first, most
what needs to
important
happen. One of the biggest things I was thinking about this earlier today that would actually help right now is people like me who do not want to be a part of law enforcement or politics, who really don't like those things, but I am fairly rational and logical, should become law enforcement officers and politicians. All of the people like me should do that. But there's no way we might succeed in law enforcement.
Yeah.
But there's no way we would succeed in politics, at least not above like a local level.
That's the really scary
part
for me.
Because as soon as you go up, if you're uncorruptible, you don't get in.
The thing I don't want is to die buried in paperwork. And I mean die metaphorically. Yeah. I mean, I get into office and they know that I'm not corruptible, and so they put the book against me. And they have so many loopholes and so many different things that they can slow me down with that I'm just filling out paperwork for the rest of my life until I die, and there's no way I can make a difference.
Well, it's why you need a good team. It's the whole thing in politics is it isn't just you. Like, you run as it's just you, but you have a team. It's the whole...
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially on the left, don't like it because people, and I've had this happen in my early 20s or even late teens as well. They, in a spiritual way, in a Christian way or whatever, there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people who call themselves Christians that give Christianity a very bad name. And because they're
it's the
not,
reason I don't call myself a Christian most of the time.
They are not exemplifying Jesus Christ. They're not exemplifying most of the Bible.
They're exemplifying the opposite.
Right. They're doing that and getting their ego lifted from their shoulders because of their weight of their sins or whatever you want to say.
Literally a sin.
Psychologically.
Yeah, virtue signaling.
And then it's like, oh, on my daily basis, I'm still going to do this fucked up financial thing, and I'm still not going to help these people, even though it says that. And then you look at the people who, not just Joel Osteen, but who's the older guy that looks like the demon or whatever.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
You know,
with the plane. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm not trying to say just because he looks evil, he's evil, but if you have
have you seen him?
You have a social responsibility, especially if the Bible says all these things, and you're still in that way. That's yeah. And so that's kind of thing, the kind of hypocrisy that people have to be able to admit that we're all hypocrites at one point or another. It's a fun at-home experiment. Ask somebody that you know if whether they're oh my god, what's the fucking verb?
Hippocratic.
Yeah, but not the thing. They're hypocritic. If they are
hypocrisy. They're hypocrisy.
Right. Whatever it is. So
you
like,
got it.
subscribe and put in the comments where
I don't know.
They are that. And then most people will say absolutely not. What makes you think that? And it's like, I understand if you feel like you're attacked because of that, but the right answer, in my opinion, would be is yes, we're all that way in some way. We are all fallible. We're all oh my god, hypocritic. Yeah, whatever.
Hypocritical.
Hypocritical. Thank you. There it is. Thank you. But like, we all do make mistakes. We are all fallible. We are all hypocritical. We all do these things. And when people say that they're not, those are the same kind of people, most often, that will not even entertain the perception that you're trying, even if you're trying to help them.
If they're Christian, you can be like, oh, so you're Jesus. Like, that's the only person. Like, so essentially, a lot of Christians are that way because we're not Jesus. And so for anybody who's trying to sit up on a high horse, it's like, get the fuck off. Like, there's no reason to be playing that game.
That's the thing is you literally if you really want to be a follower of Jesus Christ, not that I aspire to be that, but if you're not actually embodying that and you're saying that you are that is a hypocritical thing in and of itself. You know what I mean? Like, we can, everyone misses the mark, everyone sins, everyone, does wrong things. I hate to bring it up, but our president, whatever you think about him, even if, let's say, okay, whoever you voted for, if Kamala Harris got in, or if it was Donald Trump that got in, or whoever the new people are that in the next, 3 years away now, 2.5, 3 years away or something.
Well, let's say that happened, all the same shit
whether
happened.
It be the person, whatever it be the person that I voted for or not, you want to hope that person does the best job possible.
Always.
Right?
Agreed.
And I know that your policies might not align with theirs, but if it's any kind of person that gets in, you want to hope the best for that person, because then they can help the most people that is possible. And it's doing the best thing, whether it be praying or thoughts and prayers or doing something actionable, whether that's not assassination or hateful, whatever. It's good to hope for the best and maybe plan for the worst, but don't go around spreading hate, whether it be about Trump or be about Charlie Kirk or be about Kamala Harris or be about Rachel Maddow or whatever.
Yeah, vote in people that don't. Yeah,
really distinctly don't like those people.
Vote in someone who make a difference. Contact
your
your local politicians. Vote for the right people in your state before all of that shit of just posting shit streams on the media about hate speech on somebody for no.
Yes, and I totally agree. The problem we run into every time is the right people aren't there.
They're not.
Every time we turn around, it's again, South Park had it right. You're picking between a douche and a turd every time.
I was talking about this when I was in LA.
Is that a South Park line?
It's a
South Park episode.
Oh. It's the people
vote
that
or die, motherfucker.
We were watching the Diddy documentary, the Diddy thing, and we were watching. It's interesting. If you want to watch about Diddy, go watch it. It's on Netflix.
I don't care. But yes, I get it.
Hollywood has gotten really fucking dirty.
I'm getting to a point here.
Shout out.
So, I'm going to a point. The people who are in charge, whether it be Donald Trump or people that are in this government or that one or whatever, are not usually the people that you want in power, whether it be Diddy because of fame or whatever, or even if it's a rich and powerful person or whatever, because most of the time, the what is it called? The Machiavellian traits, the dark triad, I think it's sociopathy, narcissism, and what's the last one? Anyway, whatever the last one is, you can put that in the like and subscribe in the comments. But the Machiavellian traits, those are what people succeed of getting power. That's how they.
Yeah.
If the higher you are in those, the higher you are at going after that power and influence.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and so the people that we want, as you said, August, whether it be in law enforcement or whatever, is people that don't actually really want to do it, that maybe would be good at it. The more humble
people that should do it. Yeah.
Right, and it's like to try to put yourself out. You're trying to break out of an uncomfortable. You're trying to put yourself in an uncomfortable scenario, but still retain your heart and love and charity, which is a hard thing to do. I understand, especially in a cruel world. But it's the fact that people will consistently spread hate. And again, I think it's a top-down thing. People will turn on Fox News or turn on MSNBC or turn on whatever freaking news network, and they'll hear, this is all good, this is all good, this is all hate, this is all hate. And it's like, that's not socially responsible. There should have to be, I mean, maybe they think they're being socially responsible, but the more hate that you spew, the less socially responsible
they're
you're
like,
being.
hey, if you want to hear from the other side,
is.
go over to the other news network and hear it
Yeah,
from
exactly.
them. Like,
Go over them.
There's the
it's
balance.
easy to control people when they're divided. I mean, that's literally a military tactic from age-old shit. And especially
they've been doing it forever.
Yeah, it has been happening forever.
People that are in charge
built
of
that way. It's why we have a two-party system. Like,
but also there is genuine people out there who you feel the goodness off of, and go talk to those people. Go talk to your neighbors. They're out there, because I've run into people throughout my life just in random passings, strangers even, who you can feel that sort of genuineness, and those are probably some of those people that are your greatest allies, that actually do care about everybody, who don't want to get involved with politics or go into any of the military or some of those positions. God bless for the people who do make those decisions, and there are still a bunch of really good people out there that are fighting for our rights. But there's a lot of them who feel the same way, who don't want to be trapped in the system as it is, but still hold those ideals. And I'd say, if somebody, let's make sure those people don't get too down as well. So make a difference on any local ability that you can, to reach out to neighbors and to people in your local area, and try to lift the mood.
Totally agree.
Because there's more good out there than there is bad.
Absolutely, I hope so, and I believe so too. It's just when people, it's never been used to be like this in the last 10 years or so, give or take 5 or so, that people, you could not go next to your neighbor, and just because they're of a different political leaning, or they like this one newscaster and you like the other one, that all of a sudden means you can't talk to them. That's
there's
not
more
true
division.
at
There's
all.
more division right now like that than I've seen at any point in time in my life.
You're MAGA, unfollow me.
Dude, I almost did something. Okay, no. Anyway, I'm
freedom of speech.
Try to keep it.
Say it.
I'm gonna try to keep
Say
it. But that's what the world we're living in, which is super weird, because if somebody, it doesn't matter how left-leaning or right-leaning or super libertarian or super whatever, I'm going to have a conversation with that person, because they're a person first. They don't, you can be an identitarian with your race, you're going to be an identitarian with your politics or whatever, but it's really just causing more division than it is. And not to say that those people shouldn't have their own little, their safe space to do what you want to do. If you want to meet up with a bunch of like super left-wing socialist people and have tea and talk about your ideas, absolutely. Or the opposite, where they're super extremely Trumpy or extremely alt-right in some other way, whatever. Sure, as long as it's not super hateful. But if it's like,
as long as it's not inflicting harm or infringing on somebody else's rights, that's really all I care about.
I know. I really do think most people at their core are libertarians. They just don't know it, really, honestly. Because
I don't want the government getting really big and going around and telling everybody what to do. Yeah, you're a libertarian. You just
some people do, but only if it fits their thing. And then all of a sudden, the government turns on them, and their rights are taken away. And they go, "Oh, this is what I voted for." Yeah,
wait, no, it turns out I'm libertarian.
That person to have less rights. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, and also I think bridging the gap between these two things is it really socially responsible to like raise your kids with as much education as possible, not just about one side or the other, or about one issue or the other, but like with a really general balanced way to perceive things.
Critical thinking.
Like, let's actually work through this.
Like, as soon as you talk, as soon as you send your kid out there, just the same that when you're talking to anybody about a subject, is they're going to walk out and run into a billion different other mentalities on the subject. Billions.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to
Yeah.
be ones you've never even thought of. And they're going to be attacking at propaganda angles that you've never seen, and they're going to have video evidence to back it up that's made by AI. But that's coming in the future anyway. But you're going to have to build.
Here.
Yeah, well, it's going to be coming like next level
worse.
propaganda.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any,
So
any
anyway,
better.
anyway, you really need to teach the critical thinking aspects of. You need to question things. You need to not dive in like. And it's hard because we were all naive. We were all, teenagers growing up and listening to even just people. Now it's going to be movements that are going to have these sort of thought processes behind them. So we need people to be thinking as critical as possible and not just jumping into the ideology of especially Democrat and Republican.
Totally.
That'll be the most dangerous. The most dangerous
Being
will be
cautious.
these things we've had forever as the Democrat Republican. And I've never played ball as far as felt like one of them had the best interest than the other. And then when you do enough history research, you see that they swap ideas every now and then.
Over and over.
Totally.
And then you go back far enough and you're like, they are completely on the opposite side as the.
Wait a second, I thought I was part of the
exactly
anti-war
the
party.
same.
Yeah. So it's gotten to the point where without critical thinking, you're not going to realize that there needs to be a change in the way that we handle politics, not in what politics you're voting for, not for your ideology.
Yeah. Whether you like RFK or not, whether you think he's whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever your opinion of his is, one thing that should stick, that I believe should stick with people, is that when he was doing his campaign before he joined Trump and all that, he was talking about how the vitriol and the hate needs to stop. And that's basically what I've been saying most of this podcast, is that you need, what you just said, is we need to change the way people not only approach each other and like, oh, you're blue, I'm not going to talk to you, or oh, you're red, I'm not going to talk to you. It's like we're all much more in common we all have much more in common about wanting to just do the best for ourselves or for our families, get by.
I'm against
people.
I'm against pride, but I'm pro confidence. So this is very important, especially for America. I think America does need to have some confidence. We need to have some confidence in that we can stick up for each other and that we are here for each other. And that first,
that's exactly right. And that the reason America was the world superpower for as long as it was and still is.
Quit saying
we're
was,
losing
brother.
it, right? We're losing it right now. The reason it is because Americans had faith in America. Everybody did. If you lived in America, you knew you were in
we got it going on.
Like,
we got the First Amendment right, and if you don't like that,
the best country in the world.
Second Amendment right.
You cannot argue anywhere is better than here. There are places that are close. There are places that have some great shit going on. Won't say that that's not true. But there's nowhere in the world that you can do what you can do in America other than America. We're the only country that is free the way we are. Yes, we're also China. We are fully surveilled. We are fully watched.
It's a combo. And we aren't surveilled the same way. I mean, a lot of our surveillance is
yes and no. But my surveillance is in my pocket all day, every day.
Right, it's opted in. We opted into most of the surveillance in the US in comparison.
Not really. I keep trying to delete my Facebook and it doesn't work because I like Instagram and it won't let me do it because it's still part of Meta. I think that's bullshit. I really think that's bullshit.
It doesn't matter. The only way you could get off of it and away from it is not carry your phone. Like you have to not have a phone.
They talk about this all the time. Like the guys on Rogan or whatever he brings on. Your phone can still listen to you even if it's turned off. Like if you really want to know what you're doing,
even if you go back to like a flip phone, it can do it too. Like, it doesn't matter. You have to not carry a phone. Doug and I have literally had conversations without our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Doug and I go dark.
Derek, we're going dark. We're going off grid dark.
You can't go dark across the country. Kind of need the...
No, yeah, you kind of need the thing there. And I don't think, by and large, I don't think that most people, the CIA or the NSA or whatever, is malicious most of the time.
Most of the time. And that's really...
I would argue they're malicious more than they're not.
All right, I gotta take a
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I absolutely
I gotta go. I gotta go talk to my handler. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Literally look at what goes on in
No, I
the
was
world.
talking about my
like,
CIA handler.
I know.
It's just odd to have most of Congress and most of our government, to some degree, beholden to Israel. What the? That is just very odd.
Don't need questions asked. And again, bringing it back, Charlie Kirk said perfectly. Keep asking questions. Never stop asking questions.
Absolutely.
If they try to get you to stop asking questions, you're obviously looking at
somewhere.
something that you need to keep looking at.
Should also be true of the far left, or not just what people think of as the far right. You should be asking questions. Absolutely.
Well, this is why. So this is to take it down a slightly different road, but it does
quickly.
I love to see these kinds of things. This conversation we're having, right? And the way the world interacts, and then apply that in the thought experiment of the simulation, right? Like, if we are all actually, if this is actually the Matrix, what's going on right now is there's literally all these thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people being aware that other people in the simulation are fucking them. But it's all fake anyways. So
just because it's a simulation does not mean it's fake.
Yeah,
I don't know,
operators. That's not the same.
I think it's when I take this steak in my mouth, it is juicy and tasty, dude.
So what if?
So you're a blue pill boy, eh?
So what?
I purple pill.
So what if the ability to snap everyone out of the Matrix at the same time is a possibility, and the movie The Matrix has actually sent you the wrong direction? And when he took the pill that took him out of the Matrix, it was him solving his problem. Whereas if he had grabbed both pills and shoved them in his mouth and ran and jumped out the window, maybe. No, I'm just kidding about that last.
Well, no, the argument
there was a way
that the pill or the thing you could do to snap everybody's fingers and wake everybody up, like the actual philosophical argument would be annihilation. Like the world ends, and then everybody actually wakes up. That would be the argument.
No, because the machines have it hooked up to our synapses, so that the simulation does affect your senses.
Yes, so if you crash the system by all of them shutting off at once.
But if you all shut off at once, I still think it could kill everybody in the real world as well.
In theory, yes.
You would have to wake them up.
That's assuming we look like this in the real world.
The problem is the fact that the propaganda is so intense that people are so divided that they're being scared into voting for something. They're not even being persuaded into voting for something.
Yeah, they're like, you have to do this.
They're like, this is so bad that you better vote for this, rather than you should vote for this.
The other side thinks the same thing in the opposite direction.
They're doing the exact same thing. I just got to shift my hands to this direction. Oh, this is so bad. You got to vote for this. In the swamp. Oh my God. The only smart thing that I've heard in a long time in politics.
Yeah. And it's a complete failure. And it's literally, he's just doing the same thing that everyone else has done.
I'm going to go take a piss now. Okay. I'm out of here.
Well, go talk to your handler again. It's fine.
No. Sorry,
I'm getting caught. I'll be right there.
3%. So we'll see. At any point in time, my phone might die. But regardless, it's
well,
when it dies, that'll be the end. That'll be perfect.
All right. Who knows? It'll be like right in the middle of us talking about something really important. But
I don't know. Do you have a plug? Plug it in.
No, because I have to use my headphones, and it's just Plus, we're probably already going on an hour, 2 hours. But
we're definitely on 2 hours at this point.
Yeah. Plus, I want to play Raiders and actually make food because I haven't really eaten today after the gym. I'm gonna make a beef patty seasoned, and then I'm gonna put it on top of that salad.
Food is bad for you, Isaac. Food is bad.
Yeah, fasting
can be, especially in America, where the FDA doesn't clearly have strict things like
and we don't use real wheat or real corn or
it's
real
almost
meat
like the health insurance industry and like the food industry all work together to keep us unhealthy and sad and depressed and fucked. It's like, why wouldn't they I'm not trying to say over-regulate everything, but definitely keep the poison shit that you know because you've done tests again with science that
What do
you
you
know
mean?
that this
I
is going to
take
cause
red
cancer.
40 pills every morning.
Don't do that. Well, I mean, whatever does it for you.
Yeah,
But
how
that's
do you
what
think I get
makes
these
you happy.
rosy cheeks?
I mean,
How do you think my microphone looks like this?
it's like colloidal silver. Obviously, there's some benefits, but how about don't take so much that you turn gray or cobalt blue?
Yeah,
crazy.
Blue people are. I mean, I'm more into the grays personally.
The grays. Who knows? I don't know. I do think there's aliens out there, and I do think they don't want to come and talk to us or communicate with us
I think Interstellar has it
vibration.
closer than almost any movie. Like I think there is a genuine chance that aliens are us.
Oh, yeah. We could have been panspermia, as I think that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson thinks. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure what that is that all our life on Earth was probably seeded from Mars, whether it be from a asteroid hitting or meteor hitting and breaking off, and those microbes seeded life here, or maybe it was already here, but there was also life there. I think we're going to find out in the next 10, 20 years. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But it's fun to speculate, but I really do believe... It's almost like I think, therefore I am kind of thing. To me, I know some people think this is antithetical to religion, which it's not. Both things can simultaneously be true. Actually,
Absolutely.
Tons of things can simultaneously be true at the same time. It's not this or that. Anyway,
literally almost all gods can exist at the same time, and it's still all real.
Right, and just from an alien standpoint, though, I don't think that they would want to come talk to a civilization, whether, let's say, it's Star Trek type thing, that they wouldn't want to come deal with us if we're even as many good things about our society as good things about humans as there are, which I don't know.
We might have also been
there's a lot of bad things that we're still killing each other.
We might have been a theme park that was visited by a bunch of different species.
We are
somebody
Jurassic
decided to run an exexperiment called the USA.
I like looking at us as essentially as a zoo. Or what's the one where we're essentially reality TV for an alien civilization?
Interesting. They're watching the podcast right now.
I mean,
what?
It's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible. But yeah, who knows? That's the thing. Even if religion isn't your thing, there is something to be said for being accountable for your actions. Oh, sorry, kind of a different thing there. But aliens.
No,
would it be aliens or God?
Even
but again, for religion or aliens or whatever you believe, to be accountable for your actions, which I think religion is a good thing overall, even though that has caused a lot of harm. But you take the good parts, you all of the good stuff. And like God or aliens or people, let's say they're watching the podcast right now. Let's say there is, as long as people have accountability for their actions, and in too many times, especially recently, in our society especially, is people get in that victim loop and then they're fed, oh, you know what, honey, this is okay for you. I mean, it's okay to feel a certain way. It's not okay to keep feeding and enabling is the real word. Somebody to go back into a victim loop. If you really want to help your kid, or if you really want to help this homeless person, if you really want to help your friend or what have you, you don't allow them to stay in the victim loop. At some point, you got to pull them out of it and say, hey, get a hold of yourself. Whether that be God for you, or whether it be you doing it for somebody else, you gotta get them out of that.
You gotta lead a horse to water, but that's it. You lead the horse to water.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that you don't consistently feed that person.
You beat the horse out of a heroin coma.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that everyone should pull themselves up.
That's our analogy.
Not everyone should.
You got to beat.
Not everyone should pull
heroin coma
themselves up by their bootstraps. Not everyone can do that because not everyone has bootstraps. But at the same time, even if you're or whatever social class or whatever financial class you're in, you still need to be able to be accountable for your actions, responsible for your actions and your thoughts and words and all this stuff. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you should assassinate people.
Right. This is not a political podcast, and this is not a religious podcast.
Well, you guys.
This is actually the opposite. This is an existential podcast.
That's good. Yeah.
So essentially, I didn't want to quote this, but I do really love it. And this is, I think it's Proverbs, and it's, he who loves knowledge loves discipline, and he who hates correction is stupid.
Wait, does it say is stupid?
Look it up.
It says that?
Look it up.
I mean, that's true though. That's exactly the same idea that you were saying about the pride thing, right? So there's different definitions of pride. You can be confident and happy for your family. You can be prideful in your family of that way. You're prideful in your social group, whatever. But if pride is literally, if we're going to do the religious part, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins in Catholicism, right? It is literally one of the worst things that you could achieve, is to be that prideful. Now, obviously, there's different kinds of pride. There's the pride of being happy and confident in yourself and your family and blah, blah, blah. But if you're prideful in that way, that you hate correction, that your ego is so big, or that you're so knowledgeable, or that you think that, at least, that you can't be corrected in the moment, that line is succinct. That proverb is correct, because it's like you are not looking to do better, as we were talking about much earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, if you
you're
blind
looking
yourself,
to just
if you
force yourself on
to
others.
truth, if you blind
Right.
yourself from it,
It's
because
a non-empathetical statement. Yeah.
One of my biggest goals in life is to be proven wrong. I want to learn. Because when I'm proven wrong,
I can
I
learn
have
truth.
to learn. I have to learn what the truth is, because I'm wrong. And it's literally a goal daily. What am I wrong about? What am I seeing incorrectly? What am I misjudging? What can I see in a better light? What can I learn today? Even if it's small little things, like that was too much paprika. Whatever. I don't know why paprika's on the brain, but
I know that's something.
That was the third paprika reference.
I like smoked paprika.
Add more
I'm a fan.
paprika. All right, I'm gonna have to add some paprika to my coffee in the morning.
There you go.
Red pepper
interesting,
coffee. I don't
guess.
think it would be bad necessarily.
Well,
I
I do
understand
cayenne. Yeah, I do cayenne every morning.
I don't really understand the paprika,
Oh.
unless there's some health benefits that are, yeah.
It's
I don't know.
blood.
Cayenne
it's-
and honey, or do you just go cayenne black?
I do cayenne. The list is never ending, but I switch it up because I don't want to put too much shit in my coffee in the morning.
Uh-huh.
I do recognize that overloading of any nutrient is a bad thing. So
Yeah.
I'll do a lot of the different mushrooms, the lion's mane, the the ashwagandha. That's a root.
Yeah.
And then there's
I know it's not a mushroom.
yeah, no, that one's also in there.
I like honey and coffee. Or maybe
Beetroot.
agave. Have you ever tried it?
Beetroot is one of my favorite because it gives it a fruity taste.
Oh yeah.
It did not give it the taste that I thought it was going to give it, and I actually enjoyed the beetroot a lot more than I thought I would. But the beetroot,
the borscht from the old country.
If anyone on this is listening, I wonder how agave, like pure agave in coffee would be. Like and subscribe, and
It's
then
good.
put it in the comments.
It's good.
Is it good?
You've never had pure agave?
I've never
not
had
in
agave
coffee.
in it.
Yeah, it's
Not in
delicious.
Yeah, so that would be interesting.
No, it's
I
delicious.
like
I mean,
honey in coffee.
I don't drink coffee anymore. I almost don't drink any caffeine. Like I'll occasionally have caffeine. But yeah, I'm essentially caffeine free these days.
I don't really do energy drinks. Yeah,
And then sugar. Sugar has been the enemy.
Dude, I haven't had
for
an
me.
energy drink in like a year.
I've been trying to get rid of the sugar completely, but it's,
sugar's difficult because it's in everything.
It's in.
they put it in everything to make it addictive. Not socially
I
responsible.
avoid it too, but I still get sugar. Like sugar's still any
I'm a
booze
salt guy
you're drinking
myself,
sugar.
honestly. Yeah, that's true too. I like
I just because I brought this up on kind of our first conversation that wasn't.
I'll put a list. I'll pop a list over here of everything I put in my coffee, but not all at the same time every day. Right here.
Perfect. Yeah. right in the window.
Right in the window. Right there.
But so back quickly to the multiversal thing
You could always be wrong. You could always be wrong, so you should be looking for those things that could open your mind.
Yes, but no, that's not where I'm going. Yes, I completely, yes, absolutely. You usually are actually wrong. You don't necessarily see the whole picture. You can't. You're human. We're all limited. But in terms of how the world works, I really think the most logical thing is that the quantum is real. We've proven that quantum mechanics work.
And it's super fucking confusing, yes.
Yes, but if the quantum is real, there is more than just this instance of this. It's never ending.
Every interpretation of.
Yes, it is every bifolded, intertwined version of this all the time. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
But this is the one we got, so don't take it for granted and do something with it.
But to that exact point, and what I really want to get kind of into at least a little bit is I believe that if you have the past funneling down to our present moment and then the future, right? It's an hourglass shape. And we are experiencing time and our moment right now at this point. And it's the only point that exists for us as individuals. There are 7 billion, 8 billion hourglasses, and each one of us individuals is experiencing that. You could call it, there's 7 trillion hourglasses, and it's every living being on the planet. Whatever you want to say. But
An
that
infinite,
point,
yes.
yes, it exists, but only by us interpreting it does it exist, right? And it can then fracture into everything else. And by you being able to make a decision, this goes back to our, small changes to better
One
things.
step. Make one step.
By me in this point saying I'm going to get up tomorrow and do 50 crunches and 25 push-ups 3 times and run 5 miles, by me deciding that, I go from this path to this path. And this path starts intersecting with a different version of you guys. A version of you guys that when I was here, you were over here. But your path went here, and my path went here. And then we met. We've known each other, but we knew different versions of ourselves. We knew the us that hadn't made the decision yet. And all of that is happening all the time. And it's why I say, the world isn't happening to you. You're not being attacked. You're not being judged. You're not being overwhelmed. You're happening to the world. By you existing and being the observer, you are actually changing the world. It's like, again, this is observable. Yes. But don't just be good. Be slightly positive.
Well, yeah.
Fine if you want to just exist.
No. I get that's fair.
Evil.
When I said be, I meant
yes. I know you did. I'm just clarifying.
Yes,
do something.
I
can't
and just say be. Yeah, just be.
I mean,
in a fetal position on the floor. I don't mean that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think which way you progress matters. I do on a personal level and as a society. I think if you can't do a bunch of great things, then at least don't do evil, right? And so I don't think that being sedentary, I used to think being sedentary was the worst thing. I don't think it is. I don't think there is some wasted potential,
bad.
But if it is bad, but it's not as bad as if you would go out and do a bunch of evil.
No. And then there is also peace in letting the world come to you and being able to sit and listen. There is actually some peace that is in letting the world flow and not fighting.
Potatoes are better than grenades.
No, I was mainly thinking along the lines of you can't really see the things that you would like to do with your life without taking a moment of observation and reflection on the things that are. And
you'll never appreciate it.
Yeah, so people also don't have to beat themselves up for periods of peace.
But don't let that become your life.
No. Sedentary
unless you're
life.
Going to go become a monk.
And actually, I have my own theory on monks, is that I do believe there is an amount of that peace and monks living that life that is holding the world together. Just like the simulation is doing those things, because it is also allowing people to have that peace. Because there is the world of the technological, the political, the global, all of these things that you can have in your mind. And then there is also the peace of actually existing that only people in those sedentary lives are able to perceive. And then they're able to share it with people in an amazing way that no one else would be able to share it. So I do believe that there is a combination of lives to be lived, and I don't believe any one person can live all of the lives. There's no way that you can absorb all of the information. You do have to decide what to do with your life. Don't be ashamed of having some peace time. But when you are there and you are going to make a decision, make a good decision for the best of people. Make a good decision. Be a good person. It's important. It's going to change the world.
And on that note,
Let's go
I
do
think
some
we've said
Arc
enough.
Raiders. Yeah.
Hey, I'll play around. All
right. Let's go to battle. Isaac, you look frozen.
Oh, he's definitely frozen. His phone died. His phone died. That was perfect. We naturally ended.
And then I segue off to Isaac, and I'm like, Isaac, do you have anything to say on that?
Oh, it's the best.
That was good.
That's
All
the
right.
best
All
right
right.
there.
God bless. All right. I'll see you in the future. Like and
Yeah.
subscribe. We will figure out what the name of the podcast is in the future.